Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. We are the Big Astronomy leadership team, and we are very excited to discuss with you the premiere of the Big Astronomy film, which will be on September 26th of this year. I am Renee Kerrigan. I am at the Peoria Riverfront Museum and am a member of the Big Astronomy leadership team. On our call today, we have Tim Spuck and Yasmin Catrachero of AUI, who are the folks who helped create this project, put it all together. We also have Ryan Wyatt of California Academy of Sciences. His team actually created the Big Astronomy film. We have Vivian White from Astronomical Society of the Pacific, who has made the educational toolkits that are part of this project. Tiffany Woolbrick, who is from the Ward Beecher Planetarium and is helping with our web portal and distribution, and Dr. Katie Hinko, who is involved with the educational research that's part of this project. So we're just excited to share with you some of the details of the project, and I'm going to turn it over to Tim to talk about how we made this big collaboration happen.
Hey, thanks, Renee. And this is just, first I want to say this is an amazing group to work with. When you think about teams and collaborations, I mean, all of us do it, and some work out better than others. And this group has been absolutely awesome. And that's all I can say there. But you know, big astronomy or big science today, it's about teamwork. That's what it really boils down to. Any sort of major observatory, whether it's ALMA that's featured in the film or CTIO, Gemini South, which is part of the new NSF's NOIR labs. These are all teams of people that make this happen. And that's one of the things about this film that really comes out in a very authentic way is how there are team members that come together, whether it's a software engineer, telescope operator, astronomer, all these individuals that actually come together to make big science or big astronomy possible. And speaking of teams, this is what's really kind of cool is this project emerges out of a team, out of a network. I want to ask everybody here who's in the meeting who's been an ACEP ambassador. You got to put your hand up. Okay, the Astronomy in Chile Educator Ambassadors Program, which is a network of some of the best astronomy educators in the country and in Chile that come together for a great experience to visit Chile and share the amazing astronomy that's happening down there in the US investment. And so even this film itself and this whole project comes out of a team of people that are distributed not only across the United States, but Yasmin is from Chile, and she was one of our ACEP ambassadors. So as we think about moving forward in science, whether it's going to Mars or doing really cool things, no country or nobody's going to be able to do it by themselves. And this is where the US National Science Foundation comes in. And this is something that they really work to facilitate is actually teamwork and interdisciplinary work. To go ahead and make the next big advancements in science and science research. And so I just feel really privileged to be part of this group and to have had the opportunity to work with this group and to actually be part of the film that is just California Academy has done such an amazing job with, and Viv has done an amazing job with the toolkit, and Renee with the virtual presentations, and Katie with the research, and Yasmin in a lot of the translation into Spanish. I'm thrilled to do this, and Tiffany is doing such an amazing job with the web portal that she's going to show you shortly. So I'll hand it back to you, Renee.
All right, thank you, Tim. We're all glad to have Tim involved. He has a way of making big things happen when you get to know Tim. So next, I'd just like to ask Ryan to please just talk a little bit about creating the film and some of the special techniques that you use and how other folks can get involved in showing this film.
Sure thing. Well, to do that, I'll go ahead and share some images as well. So talking about the show, Big Astronomy, this is a planetarium show that we created over the last about 2 years. And as Tim mentioned, really the core of all of this are the people and the teams that make Big Astronomy happen. So we knew that we wanted to go to Chile and capture these remarkable places and the people who make the big astronomy and the discoveries happen. So to do that, we actually started in a way that's, I think, pretty unusual for a planetarium show. We started by actually talking to the people involved. So all of those different roles that Tim mentioned, the technologists who support the astronomers at observatory, astronomers who support other astronomers at observatories. In this case, in the image we have here, David Barrera, who's a indigenous leader in the community of San Pedro de Atacama. And we talked to all of these people. We conducted about 29 interviews, most of which were in both English and Spanish. And in the foreground, kind of backlit by the nice bright light, is Molly Michelson, who is an amazing interviewer who can make anybody feel comfortable and has enough Spanish to be able to carry along an interview. So she really carried through, asking a lot of questions, interviewing people in advance, and then being able to tease out of those interviews stories that could then become the basis of the show. And Nick Perez is over there to the right, to the left, and he is captured the video of each of these remarkable people. And you'll hear more of those stories from those individuals on the website as the project goes on. But those interviews became the very core of the show, complemented by the narration of an astronomer, Barbara Rojas Ayala, who knitted together a show in both English and Spanish. And you're actually hearing from the people who do the remarkable work at these observatories. And then we wanted to go down to Chile to capture people working in their environments. And so we had to explore. Our team has made several planetarium shows, but we've typically worked almost entirely in computer graphics. For this show, we explored how we could take a physical camera out into the field and capture these amazing places, these amazing environments at observatories, and just the incredible spaces that you find in Chile. And so this is a little bit of a techie kind of rundown of some of the techniques we used. We used a jib arm to move the camera, a Dana dolly to get lateral motion, and then even, as you'll see in the next image, a 3D axis stabilizer, basically like a steady cam. And this is our cameraman Lucas, who is actually holding our camera, which is actually the same camera, not the exact identical camera, but the same technology that James Cameron is using on Avatar 2. And luckily, James Cameron wanted to do what you can see here, which is to take the electronics from the camera, the electronics which are pretty heavy, and separate them from the lens and the visual element, which are relatively lightweight. This allowed us to actually move through the desert and capture remarkable, as I said, the remarkable environment of Chile near San Pedro de Atacama. We're actually going to be talking a little bit about this production process when we launch the show on September 26th. So if you tune into the first broadcast, which is at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time in the US and 3 p.m. in Chile, you'll be able to hear directly from the team that was responsible for making the show, and a little bit about what we learned in going down to make the show, and then also some of the tools and techniques that we used to create the program. And then we also use things that are very familiar to us. This is actually a visualization of an astronomical data set from a computational model of the star PDS 70, which is a star around which planets are forming. And observations from ALMA, one of the telescopes that's highlighted in the show, were used as the basis for this computer simulation. And in the show, we were able to travel to this place to talk about the remarkable discoveries that are being made in Chile. So we weave together the story of the people, the story of these amazing places, and the discoveries that are being made in Chile. And although what I'm showing you is just an HD image, a rectangular image. In fact, if you go into the planetarium, and only a few planetariums are open to be able to show this on our opening date of September 26th, you'll be able to say an immersive experience. But we are going to be doing a 360 stream of the show starting on September 26th with 3 streams, 2 in English, 1 in Spanish. And that will give you a chance to not only see the show in its entirety, whether you're on your phone or tablet, or whether, even if you have a 360 headset like an Oculus or a cardboard, or even if you're just on your laptop or home computer, you'll be able to kind of move around and see the immersive quality of this production. And again, that's on September 26th. We'll have 3 streams, and I know that we'll be sharing that on our Facebook and YouTube pages to learn more. But along with each of those, you'll be able to hear from some of the people involved with doing work in Chile, or as I said, at the one that's on at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern and Chile time, you'll hear from the production team. And I'll just note that we're lucky enough to be able to present the show at a festival in Australia. So we can say that this is an award-winning show. It received the Best Astronomy Education Award at the Dome Under Festival in Melbourne in February, just before the world changed so dramatically. So we look forward to sharing this in a few planetariums around the world, but certainly everywhere in 360 on September 26th. And as I'm sure you'll hear more about, the show is not just in English, it's also in Spanish. Again, you're hearing first person from the people who are working at these remarkable places and making these amazing discoveries. So you can hear that in English or Spanish for our different presentations on September 26th and beyond.
Thanks so much, Ryan. And as Ryan said, we have posted on our Facebook page already and our other social media channels a schedule for the September 26th premiere. And a note that unfortunately the dreaded daylight savings time messed us up, and Chile time is not aligned with Eastern time, as I unfortunately had thought when I was making the first premiere schedule. So the first one is at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, but 4 p.m. Chile time, just due to the daylight savings time change, which is different in Chile than it is in the United States. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. And again, you can check on our Facebook page in a moment. I want to ask Tiffany if she could please share our web portal, bigastronomy.org, and let any planetarium professionals who might be watching know how they can share the Big Astronomy film with their audiences.
Thank you, Renee. I'm going to share my screen here because we want to show you our web portal. This is where all of the different components of Big Astronomy come together. And we love the show. It's wonderful, and this is the place to get it. So if you want to join us, especially on September 26th during our premiere, either if you're a planetarium, in your planetarium, in your dome, or online, we also offer, as Ryan mentioned, streaming opportunities. We will be streaming here through Big Astronomy social media channels, but we will also provide a kit that will allow you as a planetarian to stream to your social media platforms and to create your own Big Astronomy streaming event. So whatever works best for you, we have those options. What you're seeing here is the home page to Big Astronomy. As I mentioned, all the different components of the project. You'll hear a little bit from Viv here in a minute about our toolkits, research components, the live events. All that information is all kind of comes together on the website. But if you're interested specifically in getting the show, you can head over to the Full Dome Show page. And this will take you to a form. I'm going to exit out of full screen here to see if that helps. That did. Okay. Now, so in order to get the show in any of its formats, you do have to fill out this form. It captures data for our research team. It will only takes maybe 2-3 minutes at most to complete, just some basic information. And down here, you can see which show type are you requesting. We have the show in various formats. We have it as Dome Masters, so the proper format for a planetarium dome. both for the smaller domes in 2K resolution and then the larger domes in the 4K resolution. We have the 360 streaming kit for that online immersive screenings if you'd like to create one of those of your very own. So that's all you do. You fill out this form, you hit send, and then that will take you to further instructions on how to download Big Astronomy show. And I do want to mention that while we are premiering the show on September 26th, and we really hope that you join us on that day. If you're not able to, or if you would like to do your own stream at a different time after the 26th, please feel free to do that. This show is out there for you all to utilize and enjoy. All right, I think that's it, Renee.
Thank you, Tiffany. And we'll be populating that web portal with even more information as the project continues. You're able to find the educator guide on the web portal, as well as information about the activity kits that were created by Astronomical Society of the Pacific. So what a great segue to turn it over to Vivian to talk about these wonderful kits that relate to the film.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, everybody. Vivian White from the Astronomical Society of the Pacific here, and we have created 300 kits for hands-on activities that you can use both in person, and we have a whole section in each activity on how to use these virtually. So I'm just going to share my screen and a couple of things. Actually, before I even share my screen, we have mini planetarium boxes that talk about light pollution and how to mitigate that. We have filter activities with lots of different filters that are very fun, talking about how telescopes in Chile use spectrometers to filter out light and to get information from them. I'll show you with my screen here. All right. Let's see about that. This is just a PDF version. I think that you can see it. And these are some cards that we'll have, some big cards that you can use in order to work with these filters. It's called Clues to the Cosmos, and they have many different ways of engaging with filters, including secret messages and lots of great images, astronomical images, as well as artistic images. And we've included, like I said, a whole section on how to use these even in on virtual events. So it's kind of fun. We also have a big banner that will come with it, 3 by 2 feet, that's Astronomy Space for Everyone, that talks about all the different people who work in astronomy and all the different ways you can become involved in astronomy. Comes with some cards and other things. I'm going to also stop share now. This is one of my favorites. These toolkits are for both museum educators and amateur astronomers, and astronomy clubs in the NASA Night Sky Network will be receiving these. If you would like to sign up to receive a toolkit, if you are a museum educator and you would like to host an event on what month are we in? September 26th. Then I'd be happy to send you a toolkit as well. You can send me an email at vwhite@astrosociety.org. That's vwhite@astrosociety.org. I can hook you up with that. We also, in them, Tim says I have 7 years of bad luck, but we have these wonderful galaxy models that are in an umbrella form, so you can carry them with you. But it's the most recent, best understanding of our Milky Way galaxy that we have, and that's part of a model that we use to talk about looking up in the night sky. So these are all related to the big telescopes in Chile, and we're excited to be a part of this, and I can't wait to get these out to you. We are packing them up right now.
I'm excited to get my kit, Vivian, and share it with my audiences here in Peoria. And so finally, I'd just like to ask Dr. Katie Hinko to speak for a moment or two about the research that's being done on this project by Michigan State University.
Thanks, Renee. Because there's so many interesting pieces of this project that are ongoing at the same time, we have a number of questions that we want to answer as the Big Astronomy research arm, such as how does the viewer and other folks engage with each individual piece, the show, the live events, the hands-on activities, and how does that all work together to help different individuals think about astronomy and think about themselves and their own identities with respect to astronomy and astronomy research. So to try to answer those questions, we're going to be asking for participants after different live events to share their experiences with us about using the different resources. So look for information about that after the different showings and live events as we go forward, not just on September 26th, but also beyond, for ways that you can help and contribute so we can learn from all of your experiences and backgrounds in order to help build more and better types of ways to engage with astronomy inside the dome, on your screen, and in your living room.
Thank you, Katie. And I just realized that I was so busy being a host, I skipped myself. So my part of the project is I'm helping to facilitate ongoing educational events that will be hosted on our social media channels. And the first of those is with Dr. Connie Walker, who is a scientist with the National NOAO, National Optical Astronomy Observatory. And will be a whole series of events that we're calling Real People Big Astronomy. So the whole goal of the Big Astronomy project as a whole, if there was one overarching goal, is to help people understand, and young people understand, that it's not big science, big astronomy is not just big telescopes, it's not just big machines, it's people of all sorts of different skills and backgrounds and from different parts of the world that make big science happen. And so to help drive that point home better and help hopefully young people be able to visualize themselves working in STEM careers or working in science, we are having a series of events where we just speak with people who work in science facilities and many different jobs and talk about what their job is, what they do, how they became interested in science, and maybe just a little bit about themselves. What are their other interests? What are their other parts of their life, so that our viewers will have an opportunity to see these scientists, or maybe they're not scientists, maybe they're engineers, maybe they're mechanics, maybe they're just anyone who works in the facility, as real people, as whole people. And so that will allow, where our goal is to allow anyone to imagine themselves working in STEM and help them see themselves represented there. So the first of those events will be on September 10th with Dr. Connie Walker at 3 p.m. Eastern. Then on September 26th, of course, there's the premiere of Big Astronomy, and there are 2 events happening that day. We're actually live streaming the film 4 times, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. There's a 360 stream of the film that Ryan referenced, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, a live stream of the Big Astronomy film in English, immediately followed by a conversation with the production team. At 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, there's a 360 stream of the film in Spanish. At 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, Vivian will be hosting a demonstration of the educational kits that she and the Astronomical Society of the Pacific have put together. And then there are 2 more streams of the film in English that day at 8 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern. So you have a chance to share those with your audiences or just tune in yourself. And then we'll continue on with our educational events that will be live streamed to Facebook. Also, they will be hosted on Zoom using Zoom Webinar. So if your audience is Spanish speaking, they can log into the webinar and there'll be a translator on, so that if somebody's speaking in English, it'll be simultaneously translated to Spanish. And the next of those events, October 13th, there'll be an introductory Meet ALMA event, where we'll just be talking about the ALMA Observatory and all the great science that is done there. That's at 2 Eastern. October 27th, there'll be a Meet Gemini South, and on October 28th, a Meet CTIO, or Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatories. We're working on scheduling a Meet Vera Rubin Observatory, which is the brand new science facility on Cerro Patron that it will be coming online soon. That will be a game changer for science as well. So hopefully that will be scheduled in October. And then starting in November, we'll continue with these real people, big astronomy events, where you'll just have a chance to get to know some of the people who work at these science facilities. And the goal is for these events, the schedule to be published well in advance, so that if you are showing the film in your facility, physically in your facility or online, that you'll be able to share these events, and you can do it in conjunction with a live stream. So tune into our social media page for information on that, or make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. You can sign up for the newsletter by visiting bigastronomy.org, and there is a sign up slot at the bottom of the website for you to sign up. And we don't share your information. We're just going to be emailing you about this project. I'm going to check and see if we have any questions. And there is a question, with Mini Planetarium closed, has there been any thought given to keeping the VR version online for public viewing for a longer period of time? Our digital content gets much more traction after the fact, especially with compared to the initial live event or broadcast. So that's a very valid question that I think the team should consider. And we'll definitely be able to communicate with that. Looks like Ryan might have a thought, so let's let Ryan answer.
Yeah, I think initially we were looking at using the streaming 360 as a way to kind of replicate that experience of going to a show in a planetarium and having that kind of, once in a lifetime kind of experience. And then as we get a little experience with it, then we will be making the show more readily available for repeat views. So in the interest of kind of maintaining the goals of the research, we felt like we needed to at least try this kind of streaming model initially. And so we're eager to find out how well it works, but I certainly hear what you're saying, because our experience as well has been that we get a lot more traction for a lot of streaming content after the fact. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if we tell people that their chance to see it is to come and see it live, or miss out until later, just to see what happens.
If anyone viewing has any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I think we were able to address most of them that I've seen, or all of them that I've seen so far. So I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for being on the call today, for the Big Astronomy leadership team, and to thank all of our viewers and participants for being a part of this project. This project is funded by the National Science Foundation, and we are grateful for the ability to create this show and all of the surrounding all of the surrounding products that go with the show, to hopefully, as we said, help people understand the main goal that many different people with many different backgrounds from all over the world contribute to big science, and that you can be a part of STEM careers as well. You can reach us if you have any questions by sending us an email to bigastronomychile@gmail.com. You can message us on our social media channels. We'll get it there. And again, you can sign up for our mailing list on bigastronomy.org at the bottom of the webpage. But with that, and no other questions coming in, let's go ahead and say goodbye. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.